Hello, darling. I am Coco Chanel. Perhaps you didn't recognize me because my little black dress is at the cleaners. I only drink champagne on 2 occasions. When I'm in love and when I'm not. And it is February, the month of love. So I want to introduce to you my friend, Lisa, who's going to talk about one thing that is near and dear to all women's hearts, and that is chocolate. Hello, and thank you for joining me for Veg with Lisa Live. That was Coco Chanel, and I am Lisa. Hi, Emily. Thank you for joining. And today, yes, we are indeed going to talk about chocolate. Junk food or superfood? I vote for superfood. I think Chanel would cheers to that. Chanel and I are gonna make some double chocolate chunk cookies. And as we're going along, we'll learn a little bit about chocolate and if it is indeed a junk food or if it indeed is a superfood. But first, hi Susan, if you are watching, please type in the comments, let me know that you're here so that I know that you can see me and that you can hear me, that I'm just not talking to myself. First, it's really important to understand where chocolate actually comes from. Chocolate is not a whole food product. It is actually kind of a processed product that's made from a plant-based whole food that actually comes from a plant. Chocolate, as we know it, comes from cacao, which comes from the cacao tree. Now, cacao trees, Chanel apparently has left the house. Cacao trees grow a fruit, kind of like these, but not these. They grow a cacao pod, and that is the fruit of the cacao tree. Inside this cacao pod, there are little itty bitty seeds. Actually, I don't know how little they are. There are little seeds, there are seeds that when those seeds take the shells off, that is what makes the chocolate. When we roast it and we grind it and it's actually fermented, it's a fermented food, and we make it into powder and we make it into nibs and we make it into all kinds of really, really cool stuff. We'll talk about that more in a minute, but let's get to cooking our cookies, shall we? Okay. Oh, Coco, she's such a dear friend. So, oh gosh, can anybody else hear me? Can you guys hear me? Rob, can you hear me? Okay, sorry Emily, it must just be you. So flags, I like to use these when I bake as an egg substitute. And if you don't know what a flag is, why, you can check it out on my website. Oh gosh, I gotta turn you down here. I always forget that part. Gotta turn you down here so you can see what I'm doing. Flags are made from flaxseed and they're a fantastic egg substitute. I've got directions on my website if you're not sure what it is you really wanna know. And then for these double chocolate chunk cookies, I am going to use coconut oil, coconut butter, coconut oil. I usually don't use coconut oil because it's very, very high in saturated fat. However, it's almost Valentine's Day. These are cookies and it's decadent and I kind of like the flavor of coconut in it. And there's only 1/4 cup. Okay. So in addition to the coconut butter, I'm going to use some almond butter. And I have to say this recipe is from one of my favorite food writers. And it's the Oshi Glows blog and the Oshi Glows cookbook. Hi, Rob. Okay, so I've got flags. I've got coconut oil, butter, or oil, whatever. I've got almond butter. And I've got, let's see, a little bit of, let's go ahead and throw the vanilla in here. I'm getting a little bit all verklempt with all of this rigmarole. Okay, gonna mix these up. The wet ingredients. There we go, fantastic. Now I'm gonna add my sugars. Okay, I've got brown sugar, Remember, brown sugar is nothing but regular cane sugar with a little bit of molasses added to it. It's not really any different. It's not any better, other than there probably are some. Ellie is in the house. No, Rob did not give me those flowers. He would, but I actually bought those for myself because self-love is the best kind of love. There might be a little bit of minerals in the molasses in the brown sugar, but other than that, it's processed just like our bodies, like regular sugar. Okay. Yep, sugar, sugar, sugar. All right, what else is gonna go in here? The usual: salt, baking powder, baking soda. And remember, baking is a science, so I know it looks like I'm just kind of throwing things in, but you can't do that. You gotta follow your recipe. Okay. This is so much fun. Power tools in the kitchen. Okay, here comes one of the kinds of chocolate in this recipe. This is cocoa powder. Okay, so remember how when I told you it starts with a tree, and then with a fruit, and then with the seeds of the fruit. When you grind and roast and ferment the seeds of the fruit, and then you grind it, you pulverize it into a teeny weeny little powder, it's cocoa powder or cacao powder, okay? That's what this is. It is indeed a superfood. Chocolate does not get turned into a junk food until we add sugar, butter, flour, all the other junk that we add to it. But this in its pure form is a superfood. So if you want to work more of this superfood into your diet and into your life without eating cookies every day, which why not? I don't know. Probably not a good idea. You can sprinkle some cocoa or cacao powder into your smoothies, put it in your oatmeal. I put some in my coffee. Yeah, it's a fantastic way to get this superfood, cocoa or cacao, into your daily life. Now, why would we want to do that? Because cocoa and chocolate and cacao powder is, hello Melanie, is full and loaded with antioxidants. It's said to be good for our brain health, for our arteries, for our hearts, anti-inflammatory. It's loaded with minerals. Yeah, so add it to your life. So in goes the cacao powder. Okay, cool. And now, because these are cookies, we need some other things too. This is actually oats that I ground into a flour. I'm sure you could buy oat flour, but it's super easy. You just whir it in your Cuisinart, your food processor. Emily and Ellie, I bet you girls like this part. Okay. Then comes the second kind of chocolate that's in these cookies. This is dark chocolate, and I like to use, for this particular batch, I did use these Hu, I don't know how you say it, Hu gems. They are dark, dark, dark chocolate. In fact, the ingredients are, this is super important, always read your labels. The ingredients are organic cacao, organic unrefined coconut sugar, and organic fair trade cocoa butter, okay? So cacao and cocoa butter together make up the solids from the cacao seeds, which is pure, basically pure chocolate, right? So that's what you want to look for. Now, of course, if you don't have access to them or you don't want to use those, you can use any kind of chocolate. You can buy a really great quality chocolate bar and chop it up into little pieces. Also, I want to show you something else. Oh, what did I do with it? Drat, that Coco, she probably ran off with it. But there's, actually, I put some in here. You can also buy little things like this called cacao nibs, and they are the seed. Yeah, that's what these are. They are the seed of the cacao tree and then the cacao fruit chopped up before they've been processed. So these don't have any sugar added to them, and they're really bitter. I love that bitter flavor. So I like to use a little combination of both, these sweetened chocolate chunks and the cacao nibs. Okay, so we're just having fun. I'm probably gonna have to finish this later. Probably a few little drips of non-dairy milk because it's a little dry. Yeah. I'm just gonna set that aside. So let me show you the final product. Look at these, don't these look absolutely amazing? Okay, so before I bite into these and taste these, What do you think? Chocolate, a junk food or a superfood? I'm voting for a superfood. Remember, it all starts with the cacao tree, which produces a cacao fruit, which when you open the cacao pod, there are seeds inside. And when we ferment and roast and grind those seeds, they make cacao nibs, which can be mixed with sugar and milk to produce all kinds of amazing products. Yeah? Read your labels. Buy really, really good quality chocolate with, I like to recommend at least 70% cacao. And what that means is 70% by weight in the bar or in the nub, the chunks, whatever it is that you're buying, has to be pure cacao. And that means it can only have 30%, that's, you do the math, 30%, hi Santa Mary, oh my gosh, great to see you, 30% other ingredients, right? So milk chocolate, for example, only has to have, by definition, I think it's like 10 to 12% chocolate, pure cacao. Then the rest is milk and sugar and all that other junk that we may not want in our diet. So, shall we get into these? You can see I sprinkled, before I put them in the oven, I sprinkled just a teeny weeny little bit of flaked sea salt on there. Salt is simply a flavor enhancer, and it actually brings out the sweetness in the chocolate. Salt actually reduces bitterness. I learned that in chef school. Absolutely delicious. I think that my friend Coco Chanel would approve. Before I close, let's talk a little bit more about the best kind of love, which is self-love. I have a self-care retreat, Lisa, not Coco, coming up on Saturday. It's a half-day morning retreat with breathing, pranayama, slow flow, relax and restore yoga, and then an hour of guided intention setting. Reach out, message me if you'd like to join. Otherwise, get to making some cookies. And thank you for joining me and Coco for Veg with Lisa Live. See you next week.